Hey everybody, my name is Jason, also known as Pirate JC, and this is the final video of the Mystery Demo Tutorial series. If you've been following along on this epic journey, then you know that we started with nothing and built an entire demo together, and it all culminates in this final piece. And I could not be more excited to share with you what it is that we've been building in secret together. If you haven't had a chance to check out the previous videos in this series, this is a big spoiler, so don't watch this video. Go watch the other ones first. I would encourage you to do so. If you have been following along, I want to give you the sincerest thanks and hope that you've enjoyed this. We're going to pick up in this final video right where we left off in our last video, which is this playground, which you can find a link down for in the description down below for this. Okay, at this point, basically what we have to do is to assemble all of the final pieces. So you actually get to see the pieces of this demo start to come together. Now, one thing I want to point out is I have set up, in the last video, we set up the lighting, the material for the ground plane. That exact same node structure, that exact same concept is applied to every single asset that we are bringing in. I'm not going to walk you through how to do each one of those because it is largely exactly the same. However, these are all snippets with saved URLs, so you can absolutely copy and paste and dive into any given one of them. But at its highest level, we're perturbing the normal for each one. We're taking the roughness and basically translating that into glossiness. And then we are adding all of that into gradients, basically multiplying and adding that onto the diffuse texture, piping that through fog, and there you have our lighting. So we do that for every single one of it. So at this point, what we're doing is basically just going to play a copy and paste game and start to see this thing take shape. I am legitimately excited, and I hope you are too. So let's go ahead and check this out. We, in the last video, focused on the ground plane. We are going to copy the ground, and we're going to paste it in here. So at this point, what I would like to do is to we'll change, we're actually going to show you realistically what it is that we're going to build. So this is not going to be underwater demo ground, but instead we're going to call this shadows. And instead of underwater ground here, we're going to call this underwater scene shadow catcher.glb. And then what we're going to do is we'll call this one, what should we call this? Let's call this underwater shadow catcher. And we're going to give the material is going to be called shadow catcher material. And then this we'll call shadow catcher. And then the snippet here is going to be VD3 MK3 and then #23. Okay, and so now let's actually play this and make sure that this actually works. We should see some shadows start to come in. Now don't worry too much about that. Oh, actually there is something I forgot to do. We should worry about that. That is actually a sort order problem because these objects are on the exact same plane. So for this one, we're going to add a slight variant to say, hey, for each piece of this, we want to say child meshes. Take the instance, say position dot y, and all we're going to do is say plus equals 0.01. And now that should raise it just a tiny bit and fix that sort order problem for it. And it does. Okay, so that is shadows. Okay, so we're going to start to do this. And of course, you can see from this node material setup here that we're applying, you can see that the caustics affect the shadow as well. Okay, so that is the shadows. So what's next? What's next is, well, let's copy and paste, shall we? Let's copy and paste again, because this is basically the end. This is basically us just bringing in the final assets. Man, am I excited about this. Okay, so this one, we are going to go all the way to the end here. This one is not going to be shadows, but instead, this one is actually just going to be a level up. And this is called Underwater Scene Rocks, Barnacles, and Mussels. I think I've spelled that correctly. Barnacles. Yeah, I believe I have. Okay, and so let's see. Let's make this a little bit more useful for us. We're going to give this a name of Rocks, Barnacles, Mussels. We're going to give this a name of let's just call it Rocks, Barnacles, Mussels, Material. There we go. And then, okay, so here, what we're going to do is we're actually going to look for Rocks, Barnacles, Mussels, and we're going to look for a primitive 0. Okay, and we're actually going to copy this because we're going to do this several times. So, oh, actually, no, I take that back. We're going to copy the whole thing. And so we'll do this, and we're going to need this 4 more times. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And what we'll do is we'll change the primitives out and just increment them up like this. Okay, so that's basically what the meshes are named. Oh man, okay, and then we're going to give this is the same thing, VD3, MK3, but instead of 23, we're going to give that 17, okay? Now this one, we don't actually need this increase in Y, the raising this up in Y. Basically, this is everything that we need here. And so let's hit play, and let's see some things start to come in. Takes a second to load. Oh, what do we have there? We have some rocks. Okay, this is getting super, super exciting. Let's keep going. We're going to copy and paste again. And I believe this is the final copy and paste that we have to do. And basically, at this point, we are so close to the end. Let's see. So we're going to then go all the way over to here, and instead of rocks, barnacles, and mussels, this is just called underwater scene.glb. And then let's call this the mesh name. We'll call it underwater scene. And let's call the material, actually, you know what, we are going to come back to that. And actually, I realized that we're using ground mat for all of these, so we should probably clean this up a little bit. So let's call this shadow mat. Yeah, I think that'd be better. Just to give us a little bit of a, you know, when we come back to this, a little bit of feeling that we've actually done a little organization in here. Rocks, barnacles, mussels. And we're going to call that, let's see, that's already something. So we're going to call this mat. Perfect. That's right. That's right. Okay. And then finally here, this is going to be underwater, I can type, scene mat. Perfect. Okay. All right. So in this one, we actually have a couple of different copying and pasting motions that we need to do. So the first one that we're going to do is we're going to say, actually, let's call this, we'll change it to rocks 1 mat, okay? And rocks 1 mat is going to be called rock 1 material. And we don't need all of these. We just need the 1. And we are specifically looking for more rocks, is what I called it. Some of the best naming imaginable. We're going to give this a 19. Same number, but that's 19, or same hash, but it's 19. Okay, so that's the rock material. And then what we're going to do is we're going to copy and paste just the material part. Okay, and so now we're going to, I think we're going to need, I think that's how many we're going to need. So we have the rocks, and then next we're going to call it board boards mat. And this one is going to be 28, I believe, for the hash. Yep, 28. Okay, and then we're going to call it boards material. And get mesh by name is going to be boards. Okay, next one is grass mat. Grass mat has a hash of 22. And we'll call it grass material. And we're looking for grass. And then let's see, I think there is one final one left, my personal absolute favorite. And this we are going to call the ship wheel mat. The ship wheel mat. You can probably guess where this is headed. All things pirate. It must be all things pirate in the end. So we have ship wheel mat, and finally get mesh by name, and we want ship wheel. And if we hit play, we should see the demo nearly in its entirety. Oh, doesn't that look amazing? That looks amazing. It is an underwater demo with decay and barnacles and mussels and caustics and god rays and fog, all running on Babylon at 60 frames a second. 60 frames a second. This is amazing. But there's just a couple tiny last things I'd like to do before we call it quits, before we end. Oh, it looks so good. Okay, the final couple of things that we're gonna do. We're gonna go back to our camera. And in our camera, we're going to add a few constraints. So right now, we can actually pivot all around, upside down. We don't want that. We want to add a few constraints. So we're going to go back to our main camera. Okay, our main camera is right here. And we're going to add in just a couple of things. We're going to say main camera dot lower radius limit is going to be 10. And then we're going to say main camera dot upper radius limit, also 10. We're going to say main camera dot lower beta limit. Now remember, beta is the vertical rotation. We're actually going to cut that off and basically say you can only kind of go around horizontally. So lower beta limit, and we're going to set this equal to, again, I just love to use degrees, Babylon tools dot 2 radians, and we're going to give that a value of 85. And then we can copy and paste this if we want to. There we go. And we're going to call this, of course, the upper beta limit. Okay, so now let's hit play. And we cannot move up or down, only sideways. Oh, it's looking so good. There's one final tiny piece that we're going to do, which is if you look at the caustics, they look amazing, but they're scaled just a little bit too big. We'd actually like to scale them down a little bit so that they appear a little bit more, say, lifelike now that we know we have a ship's wheel for some comparison. And so the way that we're going to do that is pretty straightforward. We're going to go find our render target texture, okay? So our render target texture is down here underneath our particles. And we're going to simply add a couple of lines of code. We're going to say render target, and we're going to say dot wrap u, and we're going to say Babylon dot constants dot texture, and we want to say mirror. Will this come up? Mirror address mode. Yes, perfect. And then we're going to copy that. And we're going to say wrap v. Okay, so it's wrap u and v the same way. And then what we're going to do is we're going to say render target dot u scale. We're going to set that to 2.5. And then you can guess it. We're going to copy and paste it. This is it, folks. The absolute final thing that we have to do is to take the u scale and then change this to v scale and hit play. Let me give us some room. Let me give us some room. Here we go. Are you ready? Watch the caustics. They're going to change. Oh, it looks amazing. I love it. Ah, it's awesome. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. We're done. This is it. We built a demo together from scratch. This is the mystery that we've been building for. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me on this journey. I cannot tell you how energized I am, how excited I am that we were able to create this together. A huge shout out to everyone on the Babylon team who helped out, especially Mr. Patrick Ryan for doing so much amazing art direction for this. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for following along. I'd love to hear what you thought about this whole series and what you'd like to see us do next. That's it. This is the end. I can't believe it. We're done. We're done. Thank you so much.